What's up, y'all? Welcome to Fight Club. Looks like we got some video for today's episode. Looking good. I knew I'd get that to you guys eventually. So I'm going to do a short episode tonight. My name's Robert Durden. Welcome to Fight Club, everybody. Ian's not with me tonight. He'll be with me today or the next day. He's working late, or we might get him in tomorrow sometime. So we'll have that episode, a full episode, up for y'all pretty soon here. I'm going to do a half episode tonight, and it's going to be a special episode for everybody. We're going to talk about Nira Tanden and Joe Biden, and it's a special episode. We're going to do Who Sucks Worse, and I'm going to go over Neera Tanden, and of course, if you're on the left, you know that she's been nominated by Biden to be the head of the OMB, and that's not good if you're a leftist. And she's a known Bernie smearer and imperialist. We really don't want her in there. And I want to talk about Biden also not doing a very good job lately. I'm going to give him credit on a few things, but I'm going to shred him a little bit on his really weak executive orders. So that's what we're going to be going over tonight. First, the rules, as usual. Rule number 1, talk about Fight Club. Rule number 2, pick your battles, know your shit. Rule number 3, know your opponent. Rule number 4, keep the debate on topic. Rule number 5, admit when you're wrong. And that's the first thing I'm going to do here tonight, actually, is I like to, as best I can, keep things objective and stick to my own rules. So I have a couple of corrections from old episodes. I think in episode 1, I may have mentioned that, kind of in passing, that the top 3 richest billionaires in America are worth as much as the bottom 55%. That's not accurate. What I meant to say was 3 families, and that actually is accurate. If you take the richest 3 families in America, they're worth about as much as the bottom 50 to 55% of American population. So I slip of the tongue there. And also in the latest episode, I said that Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, was a billionaire. I knew when I said that he wasn't that rich, but I didn't want to stop the conversation. He is a multi-millionaire, not a billionaire. And in fact, Kamala Harris's family is worth something like, I think them together is worth something like $7 million. So they're not billionaires, of course. But the point I was making at the time still stands. If Kamala Harris makes any type of laws that make him a ton of money, again, that's a fox guarding the henhouse type thing. You can't have that happen. So the point still stands despite him not actually being a billionaire. And then Biden, he is not worth $40 million. I thought he and his family might be worth $40 million. They're worth about $23 million. So I correct that as well. He, his wife, and his son are worth something like $20 to $25 million. So I stand corrected on those things. So it's okay to be wrong, guys. I am admitting fault, and I'm going to do that periodically as we go along. So let's first talk about Neera Tanden. So she has been nominated by the Biden administration to be part or the head of the OMB, which is the Office of Management and Budget, which means she will be working intimately with the country's budget. This is very, very bad for a number of reasons, and I don't want to go over Neera's entire history here. She was on Twitter, notably recently, I think, calling him a fake fucking Jew. So, and she got dragged so bad for that, and I mean, I think she's since deleted a lot of these tweets, but basically she's notorious for going after people personally on Twitter and then just getting just savaged by the general populace. So she's generally hated by everybody in America, and particularly, I think Bernie Sanders absolutely despises Neera Tanden for good reason. So beyond that, though, I don't want to go after her tweets so much as I just want to go after a little bit of her record. She's the CEO of the Center for American Progress, which is a Hillary Clinton-type think tank, neoliberal think tank. And over the years, they have received donations from every lobbyist that you can possibly imagine. So they operate under the guise of progressivism, but they really are just a neoliberal think tank to their core, and worse, a lot of the stuff they've come up with is actually conservative ideologically. So she pushed for Social Security cuts is one of the things that she did as a CAP CEO, and this is not surprising considering Joe Biden absolutely has pushed for the same things at least 4 times publicly. So it's no surprise that she is getting the nod from Joe Biden. They both will fight tooth and nail that they don't want to reduce the social safety net, but that's just simply not true. And in fact, what Nira did was try to reduce Social Security in favor of what's called a Chained Cpi, which basically links Social Security to the Consumer Price Index, which, and I don't know a lot about this, but I read that it will reduce Social Security slowly over the period of years, like 2% a year. So it's, again, it's an austerity argument, and she does this a lot, including with her imperialism, which I'm going to show you here. She also, in a 2012 C-SPAN interview, advocated for cutting Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. So this is not somebody you want near the budget, guys. Now here's the second argument I would use to keep her away from anything that has to do with the budget, which is, according to a WikiLeaks leaked email, which I happen to believe, Nira Tanden is famous for suggesting that we invade Libya for their oil for austerity reasons, meaning to help pay down the deficit or to basically just make money. And of course, again, you can't have this person near your budget. This is absolute evidence in my mind that she should not be appointed to this office. So, I mean, between cutting the social safety net, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and her hawkishness on her willingness to invade other countries under the guise of austerity is scary. You can't let someone like that near the budget. Unfortunately, she's going to get all the votes that she needs. She will end up there because if we don't, someone worse will unfortunately take her spot. And that really sucks because it's going to happen no matter what. Even Bernie, who gets to grill her and has grilled her in the Senate, he's going to have to vote for her because Biden will, if Nira does not get the position, go farther right, not farther left. So this is the best we got, and it's really sad. Let's move on to Biden for our second shithead of the week. And I'm just going to go over his executive orders here briefly. Here. Little vodka. Cheers, y'all. I kind of need it when going over these executive orders, if you know what I mean. So we're just going to go over these very briefly. I'm not going to go into very many of them at all in depth. And I'm going to tell you which ones are good, which ones are bad. I read over all of them today. And most of them, I can tell you, are very mealy-mouthed. And they don't have any specific goals written into them, which is, of course, exactly what we'd expect from a Biden administration. They don't want to commit to anything because they're not going to get anything done, and they want to let themselves some wiggle room. And, of course, with the executive orders, there are some things that he will have to get done, but what I was seeing today is, like, we're going to create a committee here that's going to review this. On immigration, it's like we're going to review these certain things when it comes to separating from kids at the border and maybe in the future change our policies, which is just like, you're insane, man. Like, these are problems that are enormous and heinous that require a large, very, very specific executive order to take care of. So the mealy-mouthed stuff on immigration and things that you can fix right now, abolishing ICE, let's not make this a semantical thing. Don't be Trump. Don't try to talk out of both sides of your mouth. Just give us the executive orders we need. So it's frustrating because there are some things done that are good, but again, it's bare minimum stuff. Bare minimum stuff. So first day, he canceled the Keystone Pipeline. That was good, the permit for that. That's excellent. I love that. But again, Biden was VP when they were spraying all those people at Standing Rock with water in sub-zero temperatures. So again, you could have stopped it then if you had just gotten in Barack Obama's ear. So at best, you're just wiping your own ass right here. So good, but again, I wipe my own ass. Yeah, congratulations, Joe Biden. You wiped your own ass. That same day, ending Trump's wall. That's a given, obviously. I mean, Trump couldn't even finish the wall, so I mean, it's like you could have just left it the way it was, and you were going to finish it. So, hey, congratulations, Trump's not in office and his wall's not getting completed. Reverse the Muslim ban, obvious, but again, how many Muslims want to come here and catch COVID right now, or how many Muslims want to come to America, considering our obviously racial issues that we have right now? So again, how many people are you really helping? So it's a very minor baby step in the right direction. And rejoining the Paris Climate Accord. Again, no further than that, and most climate scientists say that is not nearly enough. But, hey, congratulations, you're taking your first steps there, Joe Biden. He's also, since then, on January 25th, made it so trans people can get back in the Army. That is excellent news for about 40 people in this country. And if you're a trans person, I wish you all the best of luck in the military-industrial complex. I can't imagine there are many of you out there that actually give a damn about being part of the Army. But again, Joe Biden, congratulations. January 26th, he decided not to renew the contracts between the Department of Justice and private prisons, which again, it's a good step in the right direction, but when you read between the lines and actually read into what this does, is it only really helps about 14,000 people, when our private prison system actually has something like 2.2 million people. So the Department of Justice, as it turns out, doesn't have that many contracts with private prisons. So you have to go further. You have to just ban them outright. So this helps a fraction of a percent of prisoners. So good job, but I guess it's a participation trophy at best, Joe Biden. And then February 2nd, he did some ACA reform, which again was extremely mealy-mouthed. And again, no one gives a damn. The best that you can do is something like Medicare for all, but we all know that is never going to happen with Joe Biden. So why not at least aim for a public option? Has he even been going around with this rhetoric at all recently? I heard it on the campaign trail maybe once, and it seems that it's basically gone, and everyone hates the ACA. I mean, the ACA was better without the individual mandate, which actually Trump did, which, I mean, I don't agree with that, but if you poll it, the individual mandate system is extremely hated. So making tweaks around the edges of the ACA during a pandemic is extremely anemic. And again, I would say just a step in the right direction, but just ever so barely. The one good thing that he did, and I want to give props because I don't give it very often with Joe Biden because he sucks 95% of the time. But he did end U.S. support for the genocide in Yemen. So under Trump, he had basically backed the Saudis with everything, and he gave them something like a $40 billion weapons deal, and meanwhile they're committing genocide in Yemen. So Joe Biden did end that. He's ending all related weapons deals as well as future support, and that's the correct thing to do. He could go further on this one, and I was on Twitter corrected that he could go far further, and of course I believe that as well. But I wanted to give him a pat on the back. For a D- president, this was like a C- effort, so I'll give it to him. That is extremely good. So who is the shithead of the week? Is it Nira Tanden or is it Joe Biden? I have to say, since Joe Biden actually did something good with Yemen, I have to give it to Joe Biden. And Neera Tanden has not done anything good that I've ever seen in her past, actually. She's one of the worst people on the planet, and she is definitely not qualified and certainly too corrupt to be the head of the OMB or, to have a high up budget position. She'll be working closely with Bernie Sanders, which makes me feel a little bit better, and he grilled her a little bit about her obvious conflicts of interest. I think it was Senator Kennedy who joked that if you shook Wall Street upside down, Nira Tanden would fall out. I think, don't quote me on that, but I thought that was pretty funny, and that seems pretty accurate considering the Center for American Progress and all of the stuff that they've got going on. So I'm going to give it the shithead of the week to Nira Tanden. I believe that she probably will be the shithead of the week every week from here on out for the rest of the Biden presidency while she still has a job. But I don't believe we will always feature her in the shithead of the week. So we'll just have to see on that, guys. Stay tuned. On the next show, we're going to talk about Joe Manchin blocking the $15 minimum wage. It looks like we're going to use budget reconciliation to get our $1,400, and that's already set, but the minimum wage included in said bill is still up in the air. So we'll discuss that and why we should all try to scare the shit out of Joe Manchin, if at all possible. We're going to talk a little bit about the Washington Post giving Bernie Sanders 3 Pinocchios on his Trump's tax cuts being a giveaway to Wall Street and the elites. This isn't the first time that the Washington Post has had themselves fact-checked something that they've said and then fact-check themselves as false. So we're going to go over the Washington Post fact-checking themselves as false. And when Ian's here, we're going to go over whether or not, and I think it's going to be Nina Turner, but on the left, the champion of the people that takes over Bernie's mantle, should they run Green Party, People's Party, Independent, or within the Democratic Party? And we're going to break that down in terms of philosophy, but also in terms of logistics, in terms of strategy. So that's going to be a long discussion for the next show, guys. Thank you. Keep fighting the good fight out there. We'll see you later.